where I'm coming from and why I am going to say what I'm saying. This session is on strategic thinking and strategic planning. More on strategic planning. Okay. So I'm an international consultant in the area of management and HR. My PhD is in management and administration, and my master's degree is in leadership and supervision. My education is from Canada and the United States, but I'm originally Italian. So what do I do in Egypt? I have my company, which is a consulting company, Rita Masselli and Associates in Heliopolis, Massagadida. I also am a partner in a training company called IMI, which is in the Corniche, Lamadi Corniche. And I represent an international network of professionals in organizational development called SEDA GBT, Global Brain Trust, which is here. So I have worked started from Italy, but Canada, the United States, Latin America, the Caribbean, and now this in Egypt. This is my 8th year. So I think I know a little bit about Egypt now. I can talk a little bit about what happens or does not happen in Egypt. Can somebody? So if I could ask you please to turn off your mobile phones or to put them on silent, that would really help. Thank you. Okay, so what do I believe? I believe that if you fail to plan, that means you do not plan, you are planning to fail. That means that if you do not plan, somebody else will plan for you. If you do not plan, life will plan for you. So planning is very important. 1. 2, we are what we think about. Meaning, if I am always thinking about the bad things, that's what I am. If I am always thinking about positive things and what I can do to improve, that's what I am. If I am thinking about failing all the time, that's what I will be. So we input and output. What we put in is what we get out. Negative thoughts, we get out negative product. Positive thoughts, positive product. Okay, and the last idea before we start to talk about strategic thinking and planning is that you need to look for profit in everything that you do. I don't mean money. Profit. That means return on investment. That means if I put my time, my effort, my money, my energy into something, what will I get out? If I'm getting nothing out and I'm wasting my time, my energy, my money, everything. So this part about profit, the return on investment, is very, very important. Why should you take your time and your energy and your money and invest it in something if you're not going to get something back? Yes? Does everybody understand what I mean? Yes? Okay. All right. So I have some information here. This is just where I can be reached if you need to reach me. So I want to give you a little bit of background about what is happening right now in the world. Well, why we need to change what we do and how we do it. Amen? Yes? Thank you. So I don't know how many of you have ever seen this. This is what we call the sigmoid curve. You see this curve down here? The sigmoid curve means here. This is a normal curve that we have when we look at anything. We look at marketing. We have a new product here. The new product goes on the market. We publicize it. If it works properly, it starts to grow. Yes? And it hits the top, and then eventually what happens? It dies. The market, the product disappears. Roman Empire started here. The Romans. They got up here. What happened to them eventually? The British Empire. You as a person, you are born, you grow, you mature, and then eventually what happens? Okay, so we all know this, right? We call this the sigmoid curve. But what's happening is that we don't have to accept that this is going to end. Coca-Cola, where is it, Coca-Cola here? At the top. It's been around many, many, many years. So this is not true of Coca-Cola. It's not true of many things. However, let me ask you a question. If this is true in general, and if I do not want this to go down, what do I have to do you think? What do you have to do to make this not go down? Think about it a little bit.
To keep the principles or what makes me reach the point and try to keep it as it is.
Okay.
Stay at the top.
So you're saying find out what makes me succeed and keep that principle in mind. Is that correct? Okay, what about the rest of you? What do you think we can do so that we don't end up here? And the curve these days, by the way, is very short, right? In the old days, in the time of the pharaohs in Egypt, this curve was very long, very slow. Why? Because life was very slow. But now what happens? Like this, everything changes, right? The whole world is changing very quickly. So this curve is becoming shorter all the time. It causes us problems. What we need to do is what we call, we talk about reinvention. To have something new happen before it goes down. So where do I have to start something new? At what point? Here? 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 Where do I start the new thing? The top here? Okay, what about the rest of you? Where do you think we have to start?
Right from the beginning.
From the beginning here. But I don't have enough energy and enough resources to do two things at the same time.
Also, when I'm at the top, I discover too many things. Everything is clear for me.
Ah! But most of the time when we're here, what happens? People say, but we're good.
We are fine now.
We are fine. Everything is wonderful. We're selling well. Why are you saying this?
We have to keep the same situation now.
Exactly. So when do we need to start?
Yeah, and also because the normal people actually, they are not creative. But the creative person, the creative people, they have to think and to try to develop.
Okay. But most people are not going to accept that here. They're going to say no. Right? Now what happens here? By the time I see that things are going very bad, can I go back up?
No.
Can I go like this? How difficult is it going to be for me to bring it up? Very, very difficult. Almost impossible. Okay? So in companies, what happens is this. Let's say that the CEO of the company is a man who thinks about the future, or a woman who thinks about the future. And when they start to see this, they say to people, we need to do something else. Most people are going to say, why?
To keep ourselves on the track.
Yes, but they're going to say, why? We're doing very well. Our product is moving, we're selling, it's good. Don't tell us it's bad. If they don't listen, what's going to happen? By the time they find out it's bad, it's too late. And what is the first thing they usually do to the CEO? What do you think they do? The person who told them, it's not good, we have to do something before it becomes bad. What do you think happens to that person?
Have to promote it.
Here, they fire him. That's what they do. Why? Because at this point, the situation here is bad already. Most companies, when they find out it's bad here, They bring in a new CEO from somewhere else. They pay him a lot of money so that he can change the company. So what do we have to do? Here's what we have to do. We have to start here, like this. Right here, at the top, before we reach to the top, we start to prepare a second curve. So the second curve goes like this. At the time when this is going down, this is going up. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
Does anybody need that idea to be translated into Arabic? Does everybody, do you understand the idea? Yes? Okay. Can you... Okay. One more idea before we start talking about strategic thinking. This concept, I don't know what the word is in Arabic. Paradigm is the way I look at something. The frame. Let me give you an example. It's like the computer. The computer has an operating system, right? The operating system does what? It allows data, information to come into the computer, and the computer translates it and knows what to do. So when we talk about paradigm in English, this word, it means the way I understand the world. Yes? Now, paradigm, we all have different paradigms. Like the computer, we have a different operating system. What happens if your paradigm is very small? What happens? Exactly, everything becomes small. So if in the small way, if I see information and the information does not fit into my understanding, what do I do with the information usually? Like a computer. If there's data coming into the computer and the data is not in the language of the computer, what does the computer do? It kicks it away, right? When we see something that does not fit into what we think or what we believe, what do we do usually? We eliminate it. That's no good. It's not going to work. I don't like this. Why? Because it does not fit into paradigm. So paradigm is the way, it's like glasses. It's like glasses, you put your glasses on and you understand the world. We have what we call a paradigm shift. Paradigms are changing all the time. We had a very big paradigm shift in 1492. 1492. What happened in 1492 in history? Does anybody remember?
The new international order.
How? What happened in 1492? An Italian man took a ship and he sailed around the world. Christopher Columbus in 1492 ended up on the other side of the world. Until 1492, the paradigm, the thinking was that the world was flat. Yes? And if I take a ship and I go in the world, I will fall. At the end, I will fall and big monsters will eat me. That's what people believed. And he changed that thinking. So now we think in a different way. What big thing happened in the 20th century that changed the way we think? A big discovery. Huh?
Reach to the moon.
Oh, reach the moon, okay. But I'm talking about a discovery that changed the way we think.
The computer.
The computer and the... What is even more important than the computer?
Internet.
The internet. Yes? The internet changed the way we think. Why? Because before, the information was very small. And it was in a library somewhere. And if you could not go to the library, you didn't have the information. But what happened now with the internet?
You see now and you see everything.
You put it in, you get it out. Our paradigm has changed completely. We do not see the world in the same way anymore. Okay? Everybody's okay with that? You understand the idea?
Yes.
All right, good. Amen. Okay, so we're going to talk about strategic thinking and strategic planning. And I want to say something else that's important. If you are with a company or with an organization, if you are successful, what made you successful in the past is not what is going to make you successful in the future. My father-in-law has a factory in Egypt. He makes plastic products. He's been in business for 32 years. And he says to me, I will not change things because this works. I have been doing it like this for 30 years. And for 30 years, it's working. Do you think that the next 30 years will be the same as the last 30 years?
Of course not.
No way. It's not going to happen. So we have to change how we see something. All right, I want you to do something now. You have an assessment in front of you, or you should have one. You have one in English or Arabic. You have Arabic, if you need the Arabic. I would like for you to answer those questions. So take 5 minutes and answer the question. Does everybody have one? An assessment? Everybody has one? Try to answer these questions in the next 5 minutes. The questions are on strategic thinking. We want to know if you think in a strategic way, naturally, if you are a natural strategic thinker. So let me give you 5 minutes to answer the questions.